So now I just wanted to get into kind of the linking strategies of Register 360, a couple scenarios you'll typically or commonly see on a job, as well as just kind of a few tips and tricks of how I like to think about it and go about it to ensure I got a nice, tight, accurate registration and I can get consistent results between various data sets. And so, like many things with the software, there's no kind of one best way to do it all. Every data set's going to be unique, every job's going to be different and unique, so it's just understanding kind of the strategies of how you can go about utilizing the software and kind of leveraging some of its strengths and how you can kind of tie setups together. So right now we'll just kind of open up our standard demo data set. And so if you're familiar with Register, or excuse me, Field 360 and linking in the field as you're going, you may have noticed that you can only create kind of linear links. You cannot close a loop. You cannot have loops in the software. Simply put, it doesn't have the processing power or the CPU power to do that, and then the fact that the Field 360 app does not use the full point cloud density. It's using like 2 or 3% of the points from the RTC 360 on the iPad, so it's just basically they're close links, but they're not accurate, or they're not good enough to be final. So in this case, right, what I do when I'm in the field linking setups is I like to try and have kind of a central or a main chain of links, and from there I branch out and tie in all my other setups. Like always, this is going to be dependent on the data set and what you're scanning, and if it works that way. Sometimes it'll just simply be a straight line, because say you're going down a corridor, or you're just going from A to B on one side of the job to the other. So you're just going to have a straight line of links, so there's really nothing you can do. But kind of as general rule of thumb, I like to have a central chain, a central line, and then from that I branch out kind of like you see. So this would be, granted it's only one link, but this would be kind of my main chain down the middle. So at this point, because this data set is very, very small and everything is kind of linearly linked, there's no loops. When you select your bundle, you'll notice you don't have any global error, you just have cloud to cloud. So the thing you got to be aware of and just cognizant of is when you only have these kind of linear links, right, you're not tying back into other setups, it's just one link between setups. This error, even though they're very, very small, 0.001 feet, that error you can kind of assume is compounding in some way. So if you had a very long, like 50 links in a row, just all in a straight line, if they all had 0.001 of an error, take that times 50, next thing you know you're 5/8 of an inch out, or something like that. So that's why it's very important to tie back into other setups, or to close the loop to try and prevent and eliminate that compounding error. So once again, you're always going to have situations where you might not have that option or that ability, but just know that that's what you're trying to avoid. Is simply put, you're trying to ensure you can reduce that compounding error.